We have with us here Connor Cheadle, who is a senator for ASCSU, and he's the man who wrote most of the ASCSU Constitution. So, Connor, what was the reasoning for writing this new Constitution?
Yeah, so for the past 3 administrations in ASCSU, we've had a lot of issues with the Constitution, and we've come under a lot of criticism for focusing internally. This is mostly because of all the issues with the impeachment and just general issues we have had with the Constitution itself. It was a mess, hard to read, didn't make sense. There were actually some areas that repeated each other and then would contradict each other, which was really weird. So I took it upon myself to rewrite the thing. This had been attempted a couple of years ago with the Sidoriak administration when they had the Constitutional Task Force. That ultimately failed due to partisan infighting. And to be honest, the unanimous vote last night was something that was incredible to me. I would never have guessed a year ago when I was thinking about writing this thing that it would have passed unanimously this way. That really shows that ASCSU, in terms of the Senate, was able to come together and really make an incredible document so ASCSU can continue to function like an incredible student government that we are.
Okay. During some of the Senate meetings that I attended, there were definitely some debates about what kind of things went on in the going in the Constitution. How do you guys get around that kind of thing?
I mean, we just debate. One of the big points in the Constitution was the Speaker of the Senate. As you know, last year we created the Speaker of the Senate position to run the Senate itself. And the issue with that was, do we elect it internally or do we have the students elect the Speaker of the Senate? And what happened last year is that we had come up with a compromise that the Senate would ratify the Speaker of the Senate and the students would also elect them. So that was re-implemented into this Constitution. We have this, what's called the Speaker of the Senate compromise. So ASCSU basically vets the candidates for Speaker of the Senate, make sure they're qualified to run the Senate, and then they go forward in the general election and things like that. Yeah.
There were some changes to the impeachment process too. I know that the actual CSU administration got involved in that somewhat. What kind of things did you, or what kind of changes did you make in that?
Yeah, so that was an adventure. I spent much of this last semester in general counsel talking with all the lawyers and dealing with this. But basically what they needed was for impeachment to be moved from ASCSU into OEO and the Student Resolution Center. So right now we have the process that we, say you and I have a conflict, we can take that to Student Resolution Center. That's the same thing, is that they made it just through the standard channels of student conflict and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other specific changes were made? I know that it was kind of just cleaning it up, and then those two things. Was there anything else?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of power balancing going on here. The things were vague and not really understood. We very well clarified that the Senate is the legislative body of ASCSU. Everything new and all that should go through the Senate, and the executive runs the programming and things like this. It very distinctively sets those power boundaries and makes us a very democratic institution.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for coming on. That's all we have for news. Stay tuned for weather, sports, and entertainment right after this.